Hello and welcome to Quick Charge. I'm Mikey G, and it's Thursday, November 30th. The Cybertruck delivery event happened just hours ago, with Tesla delivering the first ceremonial trucks into owners' hands. After coverage of this event, we'll move on to the rest of the industry, but let's go ahead and dive in. At the release, we learned that the Cybertruck will have up to 470 miles of range. There is a catch to that one, and a starting price of $60,990 for the base version. There is a bit of explaining to do with all of that. The truck itself comes in 3 trim levels: rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and the tri-motor Cyber Beast. Each of these is stated for 250 miles, 340 miles, and 320 miles of range, respectively. Now, that higher number figure comes from Tesla talking about a range extender for the truck, in which Electrek's Fred Lambert asked on Twitter, and Elon Musk responded that it would be, quote, optional pack that fits in about 1/3 of the truck bed, still plenty of room for cargo. It's meant for very long trips or towing heavy things up mountains. Now, speaking of towing, the truck was listed as having a towing capacity of 7,500 pounds for the base trim and 11,000 pounds for the other two. Also, along the subject of towing, they showcased a demonstration of the Cybertruck handily beating a Porsche 911 in a quarter-mile race, but the Cybertruck was actively towing a different Porsche 911. Now, the top trim, called the Cyber Beast, is said to have a 0 to 60 acceleration in 2.6 seconds and a 130 mile per hour top speed. Looking at even more specifications, Tesla confirmed that the truck's bed is 6 feet by 4 feet, and it has a 6,859 pound curb weight and a 0.335 drag coefficient. It's got 35-inch all-terrain tires and has a 17-inch ground clearance across the whole thing. It also has power for additional electronics. There are 4 120-volt outlets, 2 inside the cab and 2 inside the bed, and a 240-volt outlet with up to 40 amps. Also, as expected, the vehicle is capable of vehicle-to-home functionality, and Tesla calls it Powershare. We'll get into that one in a minute. The pricing for the Cybertruck is $60,990 for the base version, $79,990 for the all-wheel drive version, and $99,990 for the Cyber Beast. On another note, it seems that Tesla does have some work to do in making the truck ready for towing use on the charging network. Most of Tesla's charging network is comprised of stalls in which the vehicle backs into the charger, meaning that truck owners with a trailer in tow would have to disconnect before plugging in. Tesla has already begun making stations with a pull-through stall, but more importantly, Tesla has other stations in mind. Tesla confirmed that the Cybertruck works with an 800-volt battery architecture rather than the current 400-volt system in existing vehicles. This will make the pickup truck compatible with the Tesla semi-truck charging network. As of now, Tesla is motivating itself to build out their higher voltage charging network, as the Cybertruck will undoubtedly push the boundaries of charger capability. Now, speaking of charging, Powershare is the name for Tesla's new bidirectional charging feature, which seems to include vehicle-to-load, vehicle-to-home, and vehicle-to-vehicle capabilities. Tesla confirmed that the Cybertruck has 9.6 kilowatts worth of continuous power combined through 5 outlets in the vehicle. By way of comparison, the F-150 Lightning does have more outlets, but the same total 9.6 kilowatt maximum draw, this with the upgraded Pro Power onboard package. Now, the Cybertruck has 11.5 kilowatt output capacity from its vehicle-to-home system, which allows it to power a home in the event of instability. Now, Tesla says that Powershare can power a home for over 3 days. Now, assuming that this uses an average 30 kilowatt hour per day figure, this works out to the Cybertruck capacity of over 90 kilowatt hours, but less than 120 kilowatt hours. Now, as of now, Powershare is only available to the Cybertruck, but the fact that they branded it with their own name suggests that it's available on future vehicles. Okay, moving on. A new 3-row electric SUV is going to hit the U.S. market in early of 2024. It is Volvo's flagship EX90 electric SUV, starting at $76,695 when it goes on sale early next year. Volvo's flagship EV is available in 2 powertrains, a twin motor and twin motor performance. The all-wheel drive twin motor features 402 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque, and the performance version includes 496 horsepower, 671 pound-feet of torque. Now, according to Volvo, both of these variants include a 111 kilowatt-hour battery that can provide up to 300 miles of range. The EX90 production is expected to begin in the first half of 2024, with delivery shortly thereafter. According to a new patent filing for a vehicle entertainment apparatus, the Rivian R1T could someday see added movie projectors into the lineup. Now, the patent filed on November 23rd details a kit that can include a projector, a screen, and at least one speaker. The kit is attached to a shuttle that slides in and out of the gear tunnel for easy storage. Now, many patent filings don't see the light of day, let alone consumer hands, but there is a faint clue that Rivian has movies on the mind. Rivian is opening up their first flagship retail space on December 9th in the historic New Lynn Theater built in 1935. Facing the Pacific Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, the retail space will still function as a theater, playing films that align with Rivian's adventurous mission. It's been a tough few weeks for workers at EV battery companies, with hundreds of employees in the US and Europe losing their jobs. A publication called Information reports that the companies are struggling to bridge the gap between early-stage products and high-volume production, at least the high volume that'll be needed down the line. Our Next Energy, a battery company, is cutting their workforce by 25%. LG Energy Solutions laid off up to 10% of its staff. SK On laid off more than 100 workers. And of course, we already know that Ford laid off about 700 from their EV production lines. Frey Battery laid off 78 staff, and Evinox let go 185. As the global economy winds down, electric vehicle purchases and their accompanying enterprises are winding down too. Mercedes-Benz and BMW have announced that they have teamed up to form a new joint venture to implement an EV fast-charging network consisting of over 1,000 stations in the next few years. These stations won't be in Europe or even the USA, but instead in China. The new joint venture says that they are going to be targeting the new network of approximately 7,000 high-powered piles by the end of 2026. Now, the first stations are expected to begin operations in China next year in the country's, quote, top NEV regions. And by the way, NEV stands for New Energy Vehicle instead of the term NEV for Neighborhood Electric Vehicle that we use here in the States. They do sound awfully close, don't they? Anyways, this new venture still has a ways to go, as the endeavor remains subject to approval from regulatory authorities. In today's community comment, I'd like to take the time to reflect on the Cybertruck delivery. At Electrek, we're really excited for the first deliveries. The event itself was quite shorter than we would hope, with the meat of it just being about 15 minutes of the presentation. Elon Musk took the stage, showcasing the durability of the truck and the performance. He had Franz van Holzhausen throw a ball a couple of times at the window, redeeming their amusing foible from 4 years ago. Although we did notice that this time it was just a regular baseball. Last time it was a steel ball, so I think they are quite literally softballing it in this case. Now, the performance of the truck is very impressive, and the care that has been taken into practical application, I think that deserves some commendation. Some say that the truck really isn't a truck, mostly noting the novel design and the electric drivetrain. On the electric side, I think that the range extenders will be interesting to see hit the market. It may never become public, but I'd be curious to know how many eventual Cybertruck owners purchase that package, and especially how many of them use it for business. I also wonder if these range extenders will just be rented to truck owners, considering that a battery that comprises a third of a truck bed would be far too large to unpack and leave in the garage. I'm willing to put money on it that the range extender will require specialty training and equipment to install and remove. We'll see how it goes. To me, the 0 to 60 time of the Cybertruck is quite silly, both impressively and also strangely. Tesla definitely has their work cut out for them by advertising this as a down and dirty work truck, but also one of the most capable sports cars on the market. What a great time to be alive, right? A time when boundaries we didn't even know existed are being broken down. Well, thanks for watching Electrek. I'm Mikey G, and I hope you have a great day.